Hello. Greetings. Brandy Rose Smith, live from the Forbidden Library, and we are reading more books because we like books. We're here for. And today we are reading a book called Dog Star Night by Kenneth James. I picked this out of some of the books that got suggested to me by someone because I thought January's a bit of a sad time, isn't it? You get over the excitement of Christmas, and then you're like, oh, a whole nother year. So I thought something a bit more wholesome, bit more light-hearted. Hopefully, will lift people's spirits a little bit. This is a children's book, so we're going to be extra say-so. I am going to do my very best not to swear at all. Not only because this is a children's book, because the author is a very sweet person and has been talking to me a lot about this book, and they said they're going to watch this stream with their granddaughter tomorrow. And I don't know how old this granddaughter is. But hello, I hope you're travelling, what would be yesterday for you, went smoothly. And I hope you enjoyed my reading of your book. And also, anything else to address without further ado? I read the blurb to your last stream, or the end of the Pokemon stream, so I hope you enjoyed that, because we're just going to jump straight in. What's the point in the blurb when we're just going to read anyway? Here we go. Get to the prologue. Mountain shadows stretched across the valley towards where Chieftain Orion stood on a rocky outcrop. A young mother approached. She raised her newborn baby boy up above her head. Orion scooped the infant into his giant right hand and lifted the child towards the sun. The child was the first to be born into Orion's tribe since the onset of the Great Freeze. It was a tribal custom for the chieftain to announce the newborn's name to the sun. To you, eternal light, and to all those you watch over, I present Benjamin. Benjamin was an ancient name, rarely given, and then only to those who possess both wisdom and courage. A green ray of light flashed across the western horizon, the sun's acknowledgement of approval. Orion passed Benjamin to his wife, Beatrix, who quickly applied a herbal ointment to mask the baby. Like something's coming for him. I actually haven't read a lot of this. So for context, I read maybe the first couple of chapters just to sort of, make sure everything was okay with the book, make sure it was a good read. And it seemed like a good read, and I wanted to read more, so that's why we're here. So we're going to chapter 1, so I already need to change. Apparently, we're no longer in the prologue. Eh? Chapter 1. Yeah. Chapter 1. Bloody Lip. Sounds like that's a hardcore title for the first chapter in a kid's book, innit? There was a rare snowfall Friday night in the desert town of Prickly Pear. Benny woke up Saturday morning to find almost 5 inches of snow covering the rocky ground and cactus around his house. He spent the afternoon making his first snowman. The trickiest part was putting a worn cowboy hat on the snowman's head. That feat was accomplished by bouncing it on a wobbly, flipped-over garbage can. That sounds dangerous. Benny stood back to admire his snow cow. The cowboy wore two six-shooters and a vest. The six-shooters were old-fashioned wooden toys from a discarded box in the carport storage shed. His dad had played with them as a kid. The vest was a frayed pillowcase with faded fighter jets. Such an odd sight. A snow cowboy next to a Oh, wait. He gave me a specific pronunciation for this. See if I can do it. I'm gonna get it up. Nope. Nope. I'm not confident. Not confident enough without seeing the pronunciation they sent me. It's been very good, this author, giving me all the info I need. Find that. Need to find the message now. Where's the email? Ha! I think I found it. Where is it? Swaddle! That's it, swaddle. It's a swaddle cactus. Yes. Benny was thinking about how he might add a sheriff's badge to the vest when from behind he heard the taunting baby book. Did Widow Rat Boy make a big snowman? Benny didn't have to turn around to know it was DJ mocking him. DJ never missed a chance to make fun of the rat part of Benny's last name, Tratton. Whatever made DJ a bully must have been contagious, because other neighborhood kids have started calling Benny Rat Boy too. Why don't you put whiskers and a tail on it and make it a snow rat? DJ wasn't letting up. Benny turned to face DJ and yelled, "Go away! Leave!" But he never finished. A hard-packed snowball smacked him in the mouth. Benny could taste blood from his split lip, but he felt no pain, only confusion. Why? What did he ever do to him? The cowboy snowman was DJ's next target. He cackled as he tumbled into the ground and stomped on it, making a snow pancake. Clearly, DJ was trying to sucker him into a fight. It was a tactic Benny had witnessed before. DJ would torment a kid into reacting, then pound the kid into the ground. After that, DJ would play the poor innocent victim and plead, "He threw the first punch. I was only protecting myself." DJ was bigger and stronger, but most of all, DJ was mean. If Benny reacted, DJ would beat him up and walk away blameless. Benny's only real choice was to not give in to the bully, not give the bully what he wanted. So he did nothing. He held back. That choice came with a different kind of punch. Flapping his arms around like chicken wings, DJ bobbed around squawking, "Maybe tomorrow you can make a snow chicken! Cluck, cluck, cluck!" If Benny had a superpower, he wanted to be invisibility. Then he could vanish into thin air and hide from his helplessness. DJ picked up the 6-shooters. "These are cool. I'ma keep them." Benny didn't hear a word DJ was saying. He was fixated on a thought. Hide. Let the bullies win. "I'll take this too." The DJ put on the cowboy hat and strutted off, still clucking, "Look, I'm a chicken cowboy. Ugh. Come collect your child. Please." Now, instead of visibility, Benny wanted the power to vaporize DJ into a million harmless particles, to make DJ be the one to disappear. As he knelt next to his flattened snowman, Benny shook with anger, trying not to cry. None of this would have happened if his old dog Max was still around. DJ was afraid of Max, who would snarl and growl whenever DJ came near. But Max was gone. He'd gone to wherever dogs go when they... That was 46 days ago? 3 days after Christmas. Benny had counted the days. His parents told him that as time passed, he wouldn't miss much. Of this, Benny was now certain 46 days wasn't enough time. He missed Mac's day more than ever. He could no longer hold back. Behind him, there was a childish cry. Wah! Wah! Benny resisted turning his head, fearing a second snowball to the face. He was sure DJ had come back and was now teasing him for crying. The cry repeated, Wah! Wah! Ouch! Ouch! This time, the voice sounded like his little sister, Dinah. Panic swept through him. Had DJ heard Dinah too? Benny sprung to his feet like a real good big bro. He was so ready to give up, but as soon as his little sister comes in, he's ready to throw hands again. Clenching his fist to shield his face, he spun around to confront no one. At least no one at eye level. Yet another wah! Wah! sounded from the ground by his feet. Benny looked down to see the strangest looking dog he'd ever seen staring back up at him. The dog was long and squatty, with big floppy ears and folds of droopy skin on and shoulders. Its fur was a combination of bright rainbow colours that simply didn't belong on a dog. Most curious, the dog had a big hump on its back that made it look like a short-legged camel. Curious. Why? Why? Cry. Cry. Ouch. Ouch. There was no doubt this came from the camel dog. But its mouth hadn't moved, and there was no mistaking the tone. The dog was inquiring about Benny and sounded concerned. To put the dog at ease, Benny decided to reply, I'm okay. No ouch ouch. I'm not hurt. I'm mad. Then curiosity overtook him. How can you talk? Why don't you move your lips? He stopped himself, feeling foolish. It had to be some kind of trick. Benny suspected DJ and his buddies were listening and laughing. I know it's you, DJ. You didn't fool me. I know you hid a walkie-talkie. All the kids in DJ's group played Army Commando in the desert behind houses, and few of the kids had military-style walkie-talkies. So obvious, DJ. You hid the walkie-talkie in the dog's hump. Benny said this, loudly and clearly directing his voice at the hump. The response to this was beyond incredible. The camel hump started wiggling, and a head popped out. A puppy had been blanketed in the loose fold of fur on the bigger dog's back. The puppy spoke. Bella, Bella, walk, walk, pup, pup, talk, talk. Benny caught his jaw, dropping just enough to ask the passenger puppy, Are those your names? Are you Pup? Is the rainbow dog Bella? The puppy jumped up and down and looked up. Bella, Bella, yep, yep, Pup, Pup, yep, yep. Still not believing his ears, Benny asked, Where'd you learn to talk? Star, star, far, far, Pup replied. Benny was about to ask why Pup talked in double words and rhymes when Mum called out from the front door. Time for dinner! My mum's calling me. I've got to go. You better go home too. It's getting cold and it's going to be freezing tonight. You should come back tomorrow so we can play in the snow. Can you? Pup casually flipped his ears sideways and scratched his left ear, giving the impression that he hadn't heard a word Benny said. Benny repeated in a louder voice, "Don't forget. Come back if you can." Friend. Make friends with space dogs. Mum called again, this time more insistent. "Did you hear me? It's dinner time. Coming, Mum." Upon reaching the doors, Mum asked, confused, "Whose dogs were those?" Benny glanced back to see the pair gazing innocently up at him. The dogs had followed him. "New person. Like, go." "I don't know, they just wandered up to me. I told them to go home. They don't listen very well." Mum bent down and examined the dogs. They don't have any collars or tags. They're well fed, so they must have an owner. What's all that coloured dust on them? What an odd pair. "You're not going to believe this, Mum. Pup can talk. Not just dog barking like woof woof and arf arf, but like people words." Benny turned to Pup. "Say something. Say talk talk, or walk walk, or star star, far far." But Pup wouldn't say word, and only barked and romped like a puppy. Mum laughed. "I believe you. Pup is probably shy around adults." Let's try to look like an idiot. "Thanks, Pup. You're not a very good wingman." By her laugh, Benny knew Mum was only humouring him. But, humour or not, she was right. Pup would never talk in front of a grown-up. Even if Pup did, grown-ups wouldn't believe what they heard anyway. Grown-ups are boring like that. Just then, Mum's confusion over the dogs turned to concern for her son. "What happened to your lip? It's bleeding. Are you okay?" "I'm okay. DJ hit me with a hard snowball," Benny said in an even voice, trying not to make a big deal out of it. Mum was rightfully angry. "That kid is out of control. It's to the point where I need to go have a talk with his mother. Yes, get the adults involved." "No, Mum, don't. It'll only make things worse." Sweet Pea, you need help. Bullying is bad." Then, hoping to help the dogs gain entry into the warm house, Benny decided to tell a fib. DJ ran off scared anyway. Bella sneered and growled at him. Her growl is as mean as Max's. Mum looked down at the gentle brown eye of the rainbow dog. "I don't think this dog has a mean bone in her body." Benny finished off his with a clinch. "Bella protected me, so we need to take care of her. We can't leave her and Pup out in the freezing cold all night." Mum allowed the dogs to come. Bella's eyes, not Benny's fib, were the key to it. "Can't resist a cute, adorable dog. Aww." This wasn't here when I was reading it. They've updated the book with lots of illustrations and stuff. And it's the snowman. Adorable. 10 out of 10. Wonderful. Chapter 2. The Sword Hand. Gonna get Excalibur. Quick drink. Okay, ready for more reading. Chapter 2, The Sword Handle. All the commotion at the front door brought Benny's dad and sister, Dinah, into the room from the kitchen. The dogs raised their noses to catch the smell of onions, pepper, and grilled beef that followed them. Those are all good things. Dad was perplexed. What the heck is going on here? Mum stated the dog's case before Dad could say anything more. The dogs wandered up to Benny. We can't leave them outside overnight. It's supposed to drop into the teens. That's dangerously cold. It doesn't sound dangerously cold where I'm from because we use Celsius here, but I know that Fahrenheit works like a percentage, right? With like 0 being cool, like 50% being where you want to be. So teens would be pretty bad. We can't just take in every stray animal wandering the neighborhood, Dad countered. We know nothing about these dogs. They could have rabies. Mum was determined. These dogs don't have rabies. They obviously have an owner. They're perfectly well fed, just dusty. I'm not leaving them out tonight to die. I'm not leaving them out tonight to die of exposure. Dad had no choice but to say yes. That yes came with a stern stipulation. Benny, we won't be keeping these dogs. If we can't find their owner tomorrow, we'll take them to the animal shelter when it opens on Monday morning. Do you understand? Benny hesitated because the right answer was not a yes. What Benny understood was that Dad was against ever getting a dog. Oh, that's sad. Dad! Benny's 12th birthday was coming up soon, and he'd twice asked for a new puppy as a present. The first time, Dad had dismissed Benny with a flat no. The second time, Dad responded with a no, and don't ask again. Oh, God, you know they're serious when they pull out that don't ask again. Benny knew what was behind Dad's terse refusal. It was because of that terrible morning 46 days ago. Like he'd done every morning, Benny had nudged Max, who always slept next to him, to wake up and start the day. But that morning, Max didn't. His eyes didn't open, his tail didn't wag. Max. A wrenching pain gripped Benny's stomach and he couldn't breathe. Gasping, Benny finally caught a single breath and yelled, "Dad! Dad!" In seconds, Dad rushed in to find Benny clinging to Max, kneeling down next to bed. Dad held too. Benny had never seen Dad cry, but now his father was sobbing uncontrollably. "Oh, Maxie, old fella, my buddy, old pal, true friend, best dog ever." No dog could ever replace Max. "Well, are you going to answer me or not?" Hearing Dad's voice, Benny was jolted out of his sad memory and back into the present. "You understand, we're not keeping these dogs." Benny simply, "Yes." Once Dinah realized Bella and Plup would be staying, if only for the night, she jumped up and down, clapping her hands. When she ran up to Bella and hugged her, all kinds of colours flew off Bella's coat and into the air everywhere. Dinah's pink shirt became tie-dyed. Dad looked at the mess of shimmering colours and said, "Well, I guess we'll have to put dinner on hold. These dogs need a bath. I'll vacuum the dust and go next door to borrow some of Guapo's food," Mum said. The Castillos, who lived next door, had a big chocolate lab named Guapo. Paco Castillo was Benny's best friend, and Benny spent as much time playing next door with Paco and Guapo as he spent at home. The two families were close, so Mum didn't give a second thought to asking for neighbourly help. Well, that's lovely. As Mum headed out the front door, Dad returned to the kitchen to shut down his cooking operation. Usually, Dad grilled out on the back patio on Saturday, even on crisp winter evenings, but the freezing cold and snow on the ground made this Saturday an exception. Oh, barbecue every Saturday! Heck yeah! With dinner on hold, Dad led the way to the bathroom. with Bella following happily behind him. Pup was a different story. When Pup reached the bathroom, he turned tail to run. With a quick hand, Benny grabbed the fleeing dog by the scruff of the neck and lifted him into the air. Pup wiggled and squirmed, but his escape had lost all traction. Dinah was the last into the bathroom, and once she closed the door, Pup accepted his fate. Before turning on the faucet, Dad had to remove the cooking pot sitting over the bathtub to drain. The tub faucet had a slow leak, and since the water in the desert was scarce and expensive, the pot collected each and every drop. Dad had battled the leak on and off for almost a year. He had swapped out the spigot and put in new washers, all to no avail. When he replaced the faucet's handles, the leak stopped. For 2 days. He was too stubborn to call a plumber, so the leak persisted. Oh, I couldn't live with that. I'd make them call a plumber. Usually the collected water found its way to the houseplants. However, the current collection must have been okay for a dirty dog, as Dad dumped it back into the tub. With that as his starting point, he filled the tub halfway. Another water conservation method. Pup was plopped into the bath first. It took Dad almost as much time to wash Pup's 2 large pointy ears as it did the rest of Pup's body. Pup's ears were triangular, not the kind of triangle where all sides were equal, but the one where a skinnier base makes the tips more pointy. Finished with Pup's head and ears, Dad moved on to Pup's body, which was completely covered with rainbow dust from Bella's fur. As the dust washed away, his real coat was uncovered. Pup was mostly white, but had several large brown and reddish-orange patches. His most prominent patch was on the nape of his neck. Right on the nape of his neck. That patch. Happy Sunday, Palm Star. I've just been reading a lot and I just fell over my words completely. Hello. Welcome. We're giving some cute dogs a bath. That patch was hourglass shaped and shaded, so that the hourglass appeared more empty than full. Pup's more curious marking remained hidden until Dad flipped him over to towel off his belly. There, Pup had a square patch that looked like a stitched-on orange pocket. A droopy 8 stretched the patch, as if it were taking a snooze on a comfy bed. It looks like the Lazy H Ranch lost one of its doggies. Dad laughed out loud at his own joke. Benny never got Dad's joke. I mean, it is a pretty bad one. Doesn't make sense to me. It's not a good pun like a good dad joke normally is. And he didn't get this one either. Still, Benny laughed along, out of kindness. After Pup, it was Bella's turn. She hopped right into the tub and loved having the warm water poured on her back and the soap scrubbed into her fur. She seemed to think she was at a spa. Watching the rainbow colours swirl down the drain, Benny was keen to see Bella's true coat revealed. But as Dad scrubbed and scrubbed, Bella's colouring didn't wash away. If anything, her colourful fur only became brighter. Dad finally conceded. Looks like these are her natural colours. I've never seen a dog like this. Dinah offered an explanation. Maybe she dyes her fur. Dad was still puzzling over Bella's colours. Fair dues. That's fair. I just stopped watching a rainbow doggo. That is what's happening. Dad was still puzzling over Bella's colours when Mum came back from the Castillos, entered the bathroom. Dad wanted Mum's opinion. Have you ever seen colours like this on a dog? Or any animal for that matter? Mum studied the newly bathed Bella. It's more than just her colouring. Her markings look like stars and planets. That silver mark on her hip resembles a crescent moon. She's a cosmic beauty. Benny could definitely make out Saturn's pink and gold rings, and Jupiter with its dull red spot. The bright red spot on Bella's right shoulder might be Mars. But upon closer inspection of the crescent moon, Benny said, I think the silver mark looks exactly like a sword hand. Dad contemplated the mark, examining it from different angles, and agreed with Benny. It really does look like the hilt of a sword, and that makes her tail look like a curved blade. Dad tugged at the handle. This resulted in Bella swishing water in Dad's face with her curved blade. Dad apologized. Sorry, Bella. After the bath, the water drained out of the tub. Dinah shouted with glee, Hooray! Mr. Bubbles got her collars back. Mrs. Bubbles got her collars back. And so did Mr. Juggles. Mrs. Bubbles and Mr. Juggles were Dinah's made-up name for the two of the anti-slip stickers Dad had placed on the bottom of the tub years ago. Mrs. Bubbles was a tropical fish with bulging eyes and bubbles coming out of her mouth. Mr. Juggles was an octopus Dinah named Juggles because once upon a time 8 arms juggled each brightly coloured beach balls. Now Mr. Juggles tossed only 3. Over the years, Mr. Juggles not only lost 5 beach balls, but he'd almost lost all of his purple colour. His stylish red bow tie was missing altogether. Mrs. Bubbles had fared no better. She was a pale shadow of her former splendid yellow and green striped self. But Dinah was right. The pair were gloriously rejuvenated. Their colours were never brighter. And it wasn't just Mrs. Bubbles and Mr. Juggles who got their colours back. So did the never-named sea turtle, seahorse, and jellyfish. All the tub creatures were brighter than new. Blech. Words. I need a drink. Dad pressed his thumb on Mr. Juggles to test his newfound youth was only skin. Yeah, I got my water. Refreshing water drink. It wasn't. Dad's thumbs remained colourless. Next day, Dad grabbed a sponge next to the sink and scoured Mrs. Bubbles, trying to remove her colours. He could not. Her colours were permanent. Well, I guess I won't be having to replace these stick-ons, Dad remarked. They're better than new. I can cross it off my to-do list. Thanks, Bella. Dad had no sooner thanked Bella than a drop dripped from the faucet. One had gotten away. Dad quickly put the pot back under the spout. Dinner was delayed by an hour, so Benny was hungry when he and Dinah finally sat down to eat. The guest dogs took up positions underneath the table, still licking their chops from Guapo's food, which they had stuffed, snarfed down. Enough. Nift. Noof. They ate it very fast. Words are hard. Hey, Luke Raptor Well, hello! We just finished giving the space dogs a bath and now we're gonna eat dinner. Dad and Mum shuttled plastic containers from the refrigerator to the table. When the reheated chili arrived, Benny finally figured out what was for dinner. Dad repurposed the hamburgers he was going to grill outside into the chili for the taco salad he prepared. The onion and pepper smells Benny detected earlier were ingredients for chili. When it came to chili, the household was divided. Benny had inherited Dad's spicy gene, while Mum and Dinah preferred mild. Dad bridged the divide by making 2 batches of chili, very smart. A hot batch with red peppers and a mild batch with yellow. After dinner, as Benny was getting ready to wash his face and hands before bed, Dad ambled into the bathroom and picked up the pot from the tub. Its tally was meager, only a few. Then he dumped them onto Benny's head. There! That will help get you started, cowboy. This time, Benny didn't laugh. That night, before going down to bed, both Benny and Dinah curled up with dogs in Benny's room. Dinah was scratching the back of the puppy's neck when Pup rolled over and said, "Rub, rubber, dub, dub, tum, tum." Dinah's face lit up with excitement. "Benny! Benny! Pup can talk!" I know, Benny answered. "Just don't ask him to talk in front of Mum and Dad. He won't do it. He won't talk in front of grown-ups." "That's fair. I appreciate you popping in while you can." Dinah looked at Pup and asked in a rather insistent voice, "Where did you learn to talk?" Pup pranced over to the bedroom window, stretched out his 2 pointy ears, and aimed them at a bright star that had moved close to the moon. When Pup scampered back to Dinah, he rolled over in expectation of a belly rub. "Pup likes being scratched right on his crazy 8, Dinah said. Earlier, Dinah must have misheard Dad's lazy 8 as crazy 8. She didn't get the doggy joke. Why you gotta love bomb me like that? Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy. Bah! As Dinah rubbed Pup's tummy, Benny lightly pinched Bella's big floppy right ear and massaged it between his thumb and finger. Bella enjoyed her ear massage as much as Pup revealed his tummy rub. As much as Pup reveled in his tummy rub. Benny was... I mean, Palm, you don't make me blush because you just tend to insult me. So... I mean... You call me out and insult me. It happens. Dinah, look! Benny exclaimed with his finger sticking through. Bella has a hole in her ear. It's fair. This is mine and Palm's relationship. We just insult each other. I'm pretty sure that's where we're at. Dinah came over and examined the ear. She wasn't the least bit surprised. She must wear big pierced earrings then. She must attend balls at her palace. Bella must be a queen. This answer was silly to Benny, who looked directly at Pup for a better answer. Pup knew the correct answer and offered it. Wolf, wolf. Instead of wolf, wolf, Benny heard woof, woof. Wolf or woof? It didn't matter. The answer was nonsense to Benny. Oh no. Does that mean the holes from the ear got chopped? She's been nommed on? That's very bad. It was around midnight when Mum peeked in the door. All were sleeping. Pup was sound asleep on Dinah's lap, while Benny was curled up against Bella. It was Saturday night and no school tomorrow, so Mum just let them stay there. Aw, Mum's a sweetie. Mum's... Oh! There's Mr. Juggles! He is beautiful and purple, isn't he? Wonderful. That's probably the end of chapter 2. Mum is cool, isn't she? She's a wonderful lady in this. So far, well, I mean, there's tough competition for best mums in books I have read on this channel so far. You got Haley from Purple Door District, who's also a very wonderful mother who cooks a lot. Cooks for big families and cooks very tasty food. But is a little bit protective. I think she's the only one, because the only other mother I can think of out of the books I've read on this channel so far would be Nox's mum from Exordium, who was just an ill person in a bed for most of the thing. Bless her heart, she wanted him to move on and just kind of stop looking after her. But she didn't get much of a chance to be an amazing mum in the book, so it's definitely still between Haley and mum in this book. Chapter 3, Bully holds the high ground. Still nice ladies. All nice ladies. We had like 3 out of 3 good mums. Benny and Dinah played in their backyard with Bella and Pup all through Sunday morning. The sun was out and the weather was getting warmer, but the snow hadn't yet melted much. Benny made a snowball and tossed it up into the air. Wait, no. This is we're not getting a Star Wars situation hit. No. Just no. That would be way too sad. This is a nice kid's book, okay? He watched in amazement as Bella snatched it out of midair and gobbled it down with delight. He wondered to himself, whoa, how can a dog with such short legs jump so high? He tested how high by making another snowball and throwing it straight up in the air, as high as he could. Bella's leap defied gravity. She sprang at least 10 feet in the air, landing as gracefully as a ballerina. That's true. What Benny did next was an impulse. He acted without thinking ahead or understanding why he was doing it. Benny caught sight of Dinah in the corner of the yard, playing with Pup under the mezquite tree. Together they had built what Benny knew was a small snow dog because of the floppy ears and long snout. He teased his sister by throwing a snowball into the tree above her. Benny couldn't throw nearly as far as DJ, who was the star pitcher on the neighborhood baseball team. Still, Benny had an excellent aim. His snowball hit the branch right over Dinah's head, and snow tumbled down on them. Look! Benny laughed. I just made a snow girl! That's mean, Benny. That's mean. Benny could see Dinah's face turning red, and he knew she was going to charge at him in anger. Theresa Nicole, you better not! Benny warned. He called Dinah by her real name, like Dad did when she was about to explode. Dinah charged, but her attack was halted by Bella, who jumped between Dinah and Benny. Bella gave Benny a mild growl, followed by a disapproving frown. Benny gave him a curt, tisk tisk tut tut. I didn't do anything wrong, Benny argued. I was only having some fun. I don't know, Big Bro pulling out the real name. It's against the rules. Dinah glared at Benny. You're being a bully just like DJ. I'm glad they pointed that out. Bella's frown dissolved, and she gave Benny a sympathetic. Benny understood what Bella was telling him. I bullied Dinah because DJ bullied me? Bella shook her head. Yes, Benny turned to Dinah. I'm sorry. Dinah replied by hitting Benny with a soft snowball. You deserve that. Yes, he does. Benny agreed. I did. After lunch, there was a knock on the front door. It was Paco from next door. Neighborhood kids were sledding down the hill at the end of the street, and Paco came to ask Benny and Dinah if they wanted to join them. Before Benny could check with Mum, Bella and Pup darted out the front door and gleefully greeted Paco. It was as if the two dogs were Paco's oldest friends. Pup immediately rolled over and Paco rubbed the puppy's belly. Oh yes, this perrito loves this, right here, right on his infinity pocket. Paco was right and Dad was wrong. Dad's lazy 8 looked anything but lazy. It had whirled to life like a spinning top, so fast that it appeared to be standing still. Paco looked up at Benny. You gotta feel this, the pup vibrates! Is he a cat? Is he purring? Cats vibrate all the time, that's not special. Benny got down on one knee and pressed his hand to the symbol. It was vibrating. What the heck do you think he keeps in there? Benny asked. I guess. If it's an infinity pocket, Paco answered. Everything. By this time, Dinah had come to the door. Seeing Paco rubbing Pup on the tummy, Dinah asked, Did Pup tell you to rub a tum-tum? What I need is drink, water. It is saying that cats vibrate offensive to cats? If it is, then I apologize. Benny answered for Paco. No, Paco already knew what to do. Mum gave the kids permission to go to the hill, and it was obvious the two dogs wanted to come along. Mum hesitated to allow this. Benny, we don't have any of Max's old collars or leashes. We gave them all away. Paco had a solution. Along with their Along with their dog Guapo, his family also had a calico cat named Gato. Named Gato? They named their cat Cat. I am cool. No, I'm just gonna take that one. I am cool. I accept. They named their cat Cat, but in Spanish. Oh, frick. That's a lot more than just I'm cool. What's going on? Stop being so nice. Oh, you broke my model. That's how nice you're being. Work model. There we go. We're back. Nah. Why are you being so nice? I'm trying to read a book. Stop being so nice. But yes, they named their cat Cat. Guapo has extra collars that will fit Bella. Gato has a walking leash that Pup can use. I'll run home and get them. Paco was gone before Mum could answer. When Paco returned, Benny put Guapo's collar on Bella. Bella's neck was very thick, and the collar had to be set at the last knot. I thought Guapo had a big neck, Paco remarked. Harnessing up Pup wasn't easy. Pup squirmed and resisted. Benny was getting frustrated, so Paco offered to try. Paco got down on one knee and looked Pup in the eyes. I understand, mi perrito. A dog shouldn't wear a cat leash, por favor. Only this one time. Pup stood calm and quiet as Paco put on the harness. Pup can be reasoned with. Pup knows English. And a little bit of Spanish by the sounds of it. Paco had a way with animals. Before heading to the hill, Paco suggested they find a couple of plastic garbage can lids to as sliding saucers. Almost no one in the desert town owed sleds or saucers. I mean, I guess if you live in a desert town, there's really no point in doing a thing. Oh, sorry, I didn't chat for a minute. Do my art stream. Yes, please. If you could pretty please put my YouTube in the description, that would be absolutely lovely. Benny grabbed the lid from the wobbly garbage can from yesterday, and the 3 kids and the 2 dogs were on their way. However, when they arrived at the hill, they were disappointed. From the sunshine and so many kids sliding down on it, the slope had turned to mud. Yeah, I'm cool. This disappointment was still sinking in when suddenly a mud ball just missed Benny's head. Where's my smoke? Look, everybody! It's Rat Boy, and he's brought his ratty baby bratty baby sister. DJ was standing at the top of the hill with a bunch of his underlings. I'm into the book now. I'm gonna stop. I'm becoming more powerful. Every time you do this, I become more powerful. Ah! One of the kids in DJ's gang mimicked DJ's talk. Does a little scaredy rat have a new dog? That prissy dog won't be able to protect you, like your mean old ugly dog did. Just then, DJ noticed Paco, who had stepped out in front of behind Benny and Bella. Oh, look, it's Rat Boy's ratty buddy, DJ taunted. DJ's taunts was followed immediately by a second mud ball aimed at Paco's head. Paco shielded his head with the lid he was holding, but mud splattered across the right of his... Okay. Reset. But mud splattered across the right sleeve of his sweatshirt. Paco shouted back angrily. Estúpido en la cabeza. The insult was in Spanish, but the stupid and estúpido was clear to all. I think it's like, are you dumb in the head or something? La cabeza is definitely head. DJ grew irate, not because of Paco's insult, but because Paco dared to make it. Wanting to put Paco back in his place, DJ retaliated with his most hateful abuse. Now, before I even say this, I got told by the author that this is actually an incredibly bad thing to say to anyone of Mexican heritage. Do not say this ever to anyone of Mexican heritage. Here we go. Poco Paco, little brown taco, can't even speak English. Oh, that sounded nasty to say. Ow. Ugh. I'm gonna go wash my mouth out with soap. Maybe not right now, though. Benny started to yell, "Sticks and stones can break my bones," but the look on Paco's face caused Benny to stop mid-sentence. Blood vessels were bulging Paco's forehead. Benny had never seen Paco so mad. Unlike the mud ball, DJ's insult hit its target. Paco was going to attack. Yeah, it's really bad. Never say. Never. Paco charged up the hill, with DJ still taunting him. Bring it on, Paco Pal, Jesus Christ. DJ, your parents need to just teach you better. I want to hear you cry in Spanish. I don't feel good reading that bit. I don't feel good. Benny yelled. Dinah, run home as fast as you can and get Dad. When Dinah didn't reply, Benny turned around to find her gone. Only Pup was there, and Dinah was not at the other end of the leash. Pup, where is she? Benny exclaimed. Pup pinched his ears together so they made the shape of a spear tip. He jabbed it towards the hilltop. Dinah had rushed headlong up the hill ahead of Paco and was closing in fast upon DJ. All this tiny child and her anger issues. Rightfully angry, won't lie, but Jesus Christ. Look, boys, little ragdoll wants to play with us, DJ scoffed. DJ thrust his right arm out to shove Dinah aside, but Dinah slipped under it and delivered a hard punch to DJ's gut. This is a kid's book. I was warned about the racial slurs in this, to be honest. The author assured me that the book took it fairly seriously, and it's taken as seriously as it should be. I'm not 100%, but hey ho, here we are. The rest of the book should be fine. Dinah wasn't so comical anymore. Enraged, DJ grabbed Dinah by her hair and tossed her aside like a rag doll. Suddenly, there was a blur, or a flash, or both. Benny was waiting for Dinah to come tumbling down the muddy hill, but she didn't. Instead, she was standing perfectly upright. It was DJ who was in peril. He was dangling high in the air, Belly clenching his pants with her teeth. Bella's ears had stretched out like small wings, and she was floating in the air. Pup stood where DJ had stood, and was making mocking rhymes of his own. Bully, bully, zoom, zoom, bully, bully, boom, boom! Pup turned to Dinah with a question. Drop, drop? Plop, plop? Attempted murder by the puppies. Before Dinah could answer yes, Benny cut in. Pup, no! If Bella drops DJ on his head, he'll get badly hurt. Up in the air, Bella was snarling and seemed perfectly willing to drop the bully. Make him promise to stop bullying. Make him apologize. That'll be enough. Benny pleaded with Pup. Don't hurt him. Oh, it's nice to have you here. Luke Reptile, have a good day of whatever you're going to do next. No plop plop, no ouch ouch. Just make him promise. DJ was crying and begging to be put back on solid ground. Bella glided down to the ground. She appeared to have grown in size, and she was now standing eye to eye with DJ. Then Bella spoke. Her voice was soft, but it was demanding. But it demanded, do you promise? DJ was tongue-tied with fear, and he struggled to speak. I'll stop bullying. I promise. Please apologize too, Bella prompted. This time, DJ didn't stumble on his words. He simply said, I'm sorry, Dinah, Paco, and Benny. Bella stared into DJ's eyes for several seconds and simply said, go. Dismissed, DJ slipped and slid down the muddy hill and quickly headed home. Bella's growling and snarling had made all the other kids flee in fear. Standing atop the hill, only Dinah and Paco remained. Dinah wasn't the least bit bothered by the whole incident. Paco, on the other hand, stood in disbelief. Stunned, kept muttering over and over. Pup can talk. Bella can fly. Bella can talk. Paco kept repeating out loud what echoed in Benny's head. Bella can talk. Bella can talk. Benny wondered, did she talk only when absolutely necessary? Drop, drop, plop, plop. Let's attempt to murder the racist. Oof. That was an intense chapter. That was a lot. That was a lot. I need a drink. Only an hour in. But I'm glad I'm past that. That chapter was dark. That was surprisingly dark. I did not expect it. Like I said, I kind of knew. I knew the slur was coming up. I had been warned about that bit. And how seriously to take it. But yeah, the near attempted murder afterwards. It's a tiny little murderous chihuahua. I don't know. To be like, haha, let's murder him. That's scary. Oh, but it's Dinah's picture of it. Anyway, let's see what other wonderful and terrible things happen in this book. Chapter 4, The Colour of Stars. It didn't matter that Bella was tired, or that Paco was in a bit of shock. Pup was invigorated by all the excitement and wanted to play. One of his ears wiggled about, pointing to the saucers scattered around the ground. The other ear held steady, pointing towards Mount Alta Vista. The valley town for a prickly pear was surrounded on 3 sides by mountain range. Ah yes, I'll read the soft kids book. Little did you know, it was a secret horror book. Snow-capped Alta Vista was the highest mountain in the northern range. Slip, slip, slide, slide, zip, zip, glide, glide, Pup kept repeating. Pup's enthusiasm gave Bella new energy. She flapped her ears in an upbeat da-da, da-da-da cadence. Most certainly a yes. They were going to the mountain. With a quizzical look, Benny inquired, "And how the heck are we supposed to get up there?" Just how they get to Alta Vista became obvious when Bella's already long body stretched out even more, and her already floppy ears grew even floppier. All her folds of skin began to disappear the longer she grew. She looked like a colourful hot air balloon being inflated for flight. As Bella grew bigger, Pup pressed the infinity symbol on his orange belly patch. The infinity pocket opened into a pouch. Pup stuck his snout in and pulled out a miniature assortment of snowsuits, rubber boots, gloves, and ski caps. Almost immediately, the gear expanded to full size. So it was an act. He has a bag of holding in his stomach. Benny can put away the food. Benny looked for Paco's reaction. Paco gave him one. I guess the infinity sign really does mean Pup's pouch holds everything. Benny was very familiar with Paco's sense of humour. Paco liked to joke by acting like something wasn't much of a big deal, when it really was. But now, Benny could tell Paco was not joking. Paco was confused as Benny was about what they had just witnessed. Cautiously, Benny poked a finger into one of the gloves. It was real, not some kind of virtual projection. Paco was not as pokey. He was already slipping into the snowsuit. Dinah stood still, speechless, until she spoke. Blue's boring. Do you have a pink snowsuit? All 3 snowsuits were the same colour, navy blue. She promptly added, Do you have a pink cap too? The boots, gloves, and caps were all black. Pup dug back into his pouch, only to emerge empty-handed. Not, got, he said with disappointment. I take back what I said before, Paco remarked. Pup's pouch doesn't hold everything. Pup was the first to hop on Bella's back, followed by Benny and Paco. Before joining them, Dinah asked Pup if Pup had sleds in his pouch. Outfitted in boring blue, Dinah had learned the limitation of Pup's pouch the hard way. Without even looking, Pup knew the answer. His ears drooped down, and he shook his head. No. A singular no? That's very strange of you, Pup. Dinah ran down the hill and borrowed 3 snow saucers abandoned by the kids who had fled the sea. There is no brakes on this train. We're going to a mountain now. When Dinah returned, Bella extended her front right leg for Dinah to use as a step. As Dinah stepped up, Bella gave her an approving wink as if to say, way to think ahead. All aboard, Pup pulled the tinted ski goggles out of his pouch. Once the golden goggles were full size, he passed them out. Benny and Paco each got goggles with black frames and black straps. Dinah's were different. Yay! Pup's got pink goggles! She cheered. Even the strap was bright pink. Dinah's faith in Pup's pouch was restored. Next, Pup pulled out odd-looking goggles with thick frames and bulging lenses for himself. The lenses made it look as if Pup's eyes were going to pop out of his head. Don't those Coke bottle lenses make you dizzy? Benny asked. Paco had a different question. Can I try them on? Pup answered Paco. Say, nay, nay. Goggle, goggle, doggle, doggle. What are doggles? Paco asked. Doggles are just for dogs, Bella responded. They'll make a person dizzy. Bella went on to explain. Doggles are one of Pup's inventions. Dogs can't see red and green, but with doggles they can. Bella was the last to get her eyewear. A stylish pair of aviator sunglasses, the kind fighter jet pilots. Benny held back, asking if Pup had an extra pair, not wanting to trouble Pup over fashion. With everyone goggled up, it was now go for takeoff. As Bella's ears stretched even wider, the whole crew slowly lifted off the ground. Bella floated up over the foothill, letting a breeze carry her into Creek Canyon, where she caught an updraft and headed towards Alta Vista. And I headed towards my water bottle. I'm glad you're enjoying the story. After the horror section's over. The mountaintop couldn't be more different from the desert valley below. It was covered with a pine tree forest, so thick there was no place to land. Bella let the windstream carry her over the highest peak to the other side of the mountain, where Benny spotted the Mount Alta Vista Space Observatory. The observatory was situated high in the mountain to give a clearer view of the stars. The slope around the observatory was clear of trees and was a perfect place to set down. As soon as Bella touched down, Pup couldn't contain his excitement. He was not excited by the mountain of snow, but by the observatory dome. Dancing, Pup made a foot-kicking leap and proclaimed, "Dome, dome, home, home!" Bella's back proved to be an unreliable dance floor. Upon landing, Pup lost his footing and tumbled off and sank deep into the snow. Laughing, Paco hoisted Pup up by the hourglass spot on, just as Benny had done the night before when Pup tried to make his great escape from the bathtub. What's got you so excited, I said it fine before. Mi pupito? Paco asked. Pup shook off the snow, lifted his front paw, flapped his ears, and repeated, "Dome, dome! Home, home!" Benny assumed Pup mistook the dome for someone's home, and explained, "You're right, Pup, that is a dome, but no one lives in it. It's not a house. There's a telescope inside." Benny knew a great deal about the telescope because every year Benny's science teacher, Mr. Clark, took her class on a field trip to visit the Alta Vista Observatory. Now that's a cool teacher that lets you go every year. Heck yeah! Benny's class had recently made the bus trip up the narrow, winding mountain road. Benny wanted to teach Pup about the telescope, but was unsure how best to accomplish that. Pup was a challenging student. His vocabulary was limited, but his comprehension seemed limitless. Benny recalled what he'd learned from the astronomer during the class tour. The telescope under the dome uses color to measure how hot stars are. Blue stars are the hottest, and red stars are the coolest. Yellow stars, like our sun, are in between. Paco had been on the same field trip. He added, in his own words, "There are also white stars. White stars are made up of so many colors that it fools our eyes into only seeing white." Dinah didn't want to be left out. "Snow is white, so it's made up of all colors too!" Sweet, sweet Dinah, bless her soul. Did I? Oh, I thought I clicked too many times. Fine, we're still on the right page. Lifting his goggles, Benny squinted at the snow glaring back at him. He knew Dinah had said the first thing that popped into her head, but he wondered if perhaps she might be right. She is, Benny. She is absolutely correct. As Benny lowered his goggles, Paco asked, "You think Pup understood us?" Benny replied, "I don't know, but let's not make him take a test. I hate tests." "Me too," Paco agreed. Pup was quick to point out, "Play, play, day, day!" Pup was right. It was Sunday, a day off from school. It was a day to play. Runaway train, oh no. Gonna go on a sledding adventure that's gonna end in chaos. We could probably get one more chapter in. Easy. We're flying through this book. To be fair. This book isn't that long, so it's probably going to take 2 or 3 streams, which is fine, because I already have another book lined up. So let's have another quick drink, actually. Oh, what is about this one? This is making me well. Drying up my throat a bit more than the others. How many chapters indeed? Good question. Yeah, this one has a chapter list. So it's got 20 chapters in total, with an epilogue. So we're about a quarter of the way. Right. Chapter 5, Runaway Train. The road that was wound and sloped up to the observatory was perfect for sledding, except for one problem. I could finish it today if I sacrificed sleep and never wanted to talk again for the rest of the week. But I kind of need to for my day job, unfortunately. Still only getting about an hour and a half to 2 hours of this, okay? There was too much snow. The saucer sank so deeply that it was possible to get any forward momentum. Bella had a remedy. She used her curved sword tail, wagging it back and forth, to cut a path. It took her only 3 minutes to clear a quarter-mile run. Yes, so much trust that I'm, no. Almost as much as Bella's run was, almost as fun as Bella's run was, the ramp Pup built at its end. Almost as fun as Bella's run was, the ramp Pup built at its end. It was even more fun or something like that. Paco called the ramp Pup's Revenge, since the saucer ride was launched high into the air and buried deep in a snowbank upon landing. The frosty burial was unlike Pup's slip-jig tumble into the snow. Bella dug the kids out after each run and flew them up back to the start. Pup stayed at the bottom, working to add more snow to his. Pup's ramp grew more formidable with each run. Again, this is kind of starting to sound bad. Frosty burial is a hell of a word to use for this. Makes it sound a little more sinister again. Like I said, horror book. Yesterday, Benny had shaped the snow into a snowman. Today, he had a different idea. You two keep sledding. I'm gonna stay here and make a tunnel for Pup's ramp. Ooh, that is a very good idea. However, I think a very difficult one. Good luck. Benny loved building things, and snow was a wonderful building material. Before flying Paco and Dinah back to the start place, Bella used her tail to pile snow along the bottom of the run to help Benny get started. Benny was busy. For him, designing and building was fun. Not work at all. When he grew up, Benny wanted to build things. Although, he couldn't say exactly what. How could he say what if he hadn't invented them yet? Each time Paco and Dinah zoomed past, Benny stepped back to assess his progress. With Pup's help, he was adding about a foot each minute. Benny proposed, "Hey Pup, what if we work for 50 minutes and make a tunnel 50 feet long?" Pup approved. 50-50, nifty. After a few more runs, Paco lost interest in sliding and joined Benny and Pup on the tunnel construction. Dinah slid 2 more times, which wasn't as much fun anymore. She joined the tunnel building. All working together, the rate of progress doubled. After 50 minutes, Benny declared the project complete. The snow tunnel was 100 feet long. The tunnel gave Paco an idea. Let's link together and go through the tunnel like a train. Choo-choo. Benny advised caution. We may go in the tunnel like a train, but we'll shoot off the ramp like a rocket. Benny's warning only sold Pup on Paco's idea. Saw, raw. Oh, Pup has no... What's the word? Personal safety is nothing to Pup. That is probably a good way to say it. What is personal safety? What is injury? Clapping her gloves together, Dinah cheered. I want to be a rocket too! Bella assembled the team at the top of the run. Desert sliding squad, as inexperienced as the one from Jamaica. Desert, not dessert. I see the bobsled team reference, I assume. Taking the lead, Dinah sat down on a saucer with Pup on her lap. Paco was second, locking his legs across Dinah's waist. Benny was next, his legs around Paco. Bella stood upright, the pusher behind the crew. Just as Benny settled into position, Pup's doggled eyes rose like 2 full moons over the back of Dinah's shoulders. Need, speed! Benny was trying to figure out what Pup meant. Then, Pup distributed helmets, 4 black ones and 1 pink one. When all were helmeted, Benny felt Bella's 2 big paws clasp his shoulders. The push began. Benny could hear Bella's claws clicking into the ice for traction, just as his baseball cleats clicked on the kitchen floor. Benny even heard Mum shout in his head, "Take those cleats off right now, young man!" Bella's high thrust push matched that of even the gold medal Olympic team. They started out fast and only got faster. Their combined weight and the packed down track added to their velocity. Halfway down the run, they already reached breakneck speed. Like a runway train, the sliders flew into the tunnel. Everything turned bright white. Every colour blurred together. Benny counted 1,000, 1,002, 1,003. The train shot out of the tunnel like a cannonball. Paco must have had the same impression as he shrieked like a banshee. Cannonball! Midway to wherever they were headed, the Cannonball Express began to wobble and shake. The front zigzagged left and the back zagged right. The train twisted, then jackknifed. The front saucers spun loose. Pup still aboard. Dinah was not. The other saucers stayed attached, only flipped upside down. Benny saw Dinah suspended helplessly in midair as Pup and the saucer headed up and away. He grabbed her arm and with all his might pulled her aboard the engineless, tumbling train. All the time watching Pup spin off into the distance. Oh, poor Pup. Dinah, you should have kept better hold of him. Luckily, the train was bound for a deep snow embankment, 100 feet beyond any previous jumps. Their impact was about the same as dropping into a cushy pillow, except a pillow would be much warmer. Bella extracted everyone from the snow and deposited them next to Pup's revenge. Without saying a word, she headed off in the direction Pup had flown. Paco was not his usual joking self. He was worried. Oh, I hope Pup's okay. Last I saw, he was flying over the trees. This mountain's 9,157 feet tall. That's a long way down. Dinah was less concerned. Good thing he's got a helmet on. Oh, sweetie, that's not gonna help at that height. Bless Dinah. Bless her little cotton socks. Benny was worried too. No, he wasn't. His mind had a way of ridding itself of worry by converting it into a math problem. What a nerd. No. Focusing on math made him feel calmer. He could catch details that he otherwise might miss in a panic. That is cool. Cool. The world would move in slow motion. It was his skill that always earned him the first base position on the basketball team. Baseball team, not basketball. I was about to say, there's no bases in basketball. He never missed a catch, even those thrown that bounced in the dirt. It's why DJ attacked him from behind. Head on, Benny would have easily dodged the snowball. DJ would have looked foolish. Now Benny found himself wondering, just how fast was the Cannonball Express going when it was shot out of the tunnel? He started to solve the problem. If we went 100 feet in 2 seconds, then since there's 60 seconds in a minute, we would go 60 times feet in 1 minute. That's 3,000 feet per minute. Since there's 60 minutes an hour. Benny saw the flash out of the corner of his eye. Not too bright, just to the right of the sun, which was low in the western sky. It was a reflection, perhaps off an aeroplane, Benny first thought. There was a second flash. The object was getting closer. Benny had a new thought. Wasn't Dinah's saucer silver? There was yet another flash. This was different. It held an array of colours. Benny let the others know. Look, up over there, just above and to the right of the sun. Bella's coming back. Where? Paco asked. I don't see a thing. There, Benny pointed. Shade the sun with your hand. I see, Dinah rejoiced. And she's got Pup and the saucer! Oh, I see them now too, Paco said. How did you see them from so far away? Teasing Paco, Benny replied. Pup trusted me with this special pair of goggles. They give me superpower vision. Bella landed and Pup hopped down, not showing the slightest hint of trepidation over what must have been a harrowing, death-defying ride. All Pup did was open his pouch and pull out a jar of peanut butter, a jar of prickly pear jelly, and a loaf of bread. Would it be pear-flavoured jam? Because American jelly is just jam. Would it be pear jam? That'd be nice. It was as if Pup had just returned from a quick run to the grocery store. Before anyone could say anything, Dinah declared, Look, Pup got me lunch. Paco had a different take. I think the food's for all of us. His pouch still open, Pup passed Benny a spreading knife. As Benny took the knife, Paco teased Benny back. Now Pup's trusting you with a super powerful spreading knife. Paco's sense of humour was back. Benny's newly assigned task came with one major drawback. As fast as he could make sandwiches, the others gobbled them down. Benny finally got one to eat himself. There was only 3 slices of bread left, 2 of which were the heels. He made a double-decker sandwich for himself, peanut butter on top deck, and prickly pear jelly on the bottom. Bella turned down a sandwich, perfectly content to just lick out the jars. Fair dues. To top off lunch, Pup pulled out cups along with a thermos of steaming hot chocolate. His ears had 3 jumbo marshmallows skewered on them. The treat gave the kids energy to climb on Bella's back for the ride home. What's the picture of this one, you think? Oh, no, there's no picture on this chapter. Oh, well. It was very... Now, that was a bit nicer. Just some nice playing time in a mountain. Admittedly, it's very strange that this dog could just stuff out of its chest, but it's a magical space dog. We don't question it. I know. Pictures. Fine. There are some other pictures coming up that are very pretty. I know there's one. Chapter 17 is a very nice picture. Because I had to check that chapter to make sure I had the most up-to-date thing, because that was one of the most recent things the author had added. And it is a very cool picture, and I am very curious how we get to that point. Right, I think we can get one more chapter in today. Just one more. And then we're done. More Ikai. There. Okay. Chapter 6. Nicknames. The sun was setting over the western mountain as the group glided back down to the valley. Their descent quickened the pace of the sunset, and soon the sky was lit with colours. Seeing sunset while floating in the sky made it even more spectacular. Somewhere on the other side of the world, the sun was rising. That sunrise, though, couldn't possibly match the beauty of a sunset, of a desert sunset. Bella touched down behind Paco's house. She was careful not to let a grown-up fly, so she landed on the outside of the abode brick wall that surrounded the backyard. Bella was returning to her normal size. Her skin folds reappeared, and her ears returned to their usual floppiness. After removing his snow gear, Benny realized he hadn't noticed how Pup had packed up the knife, thermos, and cups in the pouch. Just before leaving the mountain, Benny figured repouching was the reverse of unpouching, and wanted to watch the rest of his gear shrink down in size. The process wasn't what Benny expected. Pup simply touched an item with his paw, and it vanished. While all the activity behind the house didn't catch the eye of any adult, the commotion didn't escape Guapo's ears. From inside the house, Guapo started barking loudly. Woof, 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 woof. I'd better get Guapo before he gets too loud, Paco said to Bella and Pup. He'd want to meet both of you anyway. Paco hurried to get his dog. As Paco closed the backyard gate behind himself, Benny asked Bella, "Can you tell what Guapo's saying?" Laughing, Bella responded, "He's saying, 'I know you're there, come get me.'" Benny was embarrassed to even ask the question. Dinah had been listening, and she had a different question. "Does Guapo talk in English or in Spanish?" You know what? That's a good question. That's an incredibly good question. He talks in both. Like Paco, Guapo is bilingual. Bilingual doggos. Words. Bilingual doggos. Yes. I don't understand. How can a dog talk in two languages? Benny asked. If you listen closely, you can hear Guapo barking the sounds woof woof and wah wah. Woof woof is English and wah wah is Spanish. Though through the world, dogs bark differently depending on the language of their people. Now that is not entirely incorrect. I love looking at like the different sounds dogs and cats make in different languages. Because it's less that they make different sounds in countries, more that different languages interpret it differently. Like obviously Japan's nya nya, wan wan. It's interesting. Benny was listening closely to Guapo's bark when it stopped. Paco had set him free. Dinah broke the silence with a question. What do dogs in France say? French poodles were Dinah's favourite kind of dog. Ask Pup, Bella advised. He's an expert in double bark canine language. Well, Pup, what do dogs in France say? Dinah asked. Pup responded quickly, "Vaff, vaff, vaff, vaff." Dinah fired back and even quicker. What do dogs in China say? Wang, wang. Wan, wang. The game was on. What do dogs in Russia say? Guff, 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 guff. What do dogs in Italy say? Bow, 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 bow. If Paco hadn't returned just then with Guapo, there's no telling how long the volley would have gone on for. Dinah knew lots of country, and Pup knew every bark. Guapo was a handsome dog. In fact, his very name meant handsome in Spanish. His snout was long and proud. He had a broad chest that tapered to a thin waist. His chocolate fur shined as if he'd been buffed. Bella acknowledged Guapo with a rather quiet woof woof, guau guau. Benny thought Bella's fur looked on a tinge of red. He wondered, dogs blush? Bella turned her attention from Guapo to Paco. Instead of saying goodbye, Franciso, I'll say hasta luego, hasta luego. Paco was confused, not because Bella spoke Spanish, but because she knew his formal name. How did you know my real name? Only my mom and dad ever call me Franciso. Franciso. Yeah, Franciso. I was right. Bella answered, I know about your namesake. The nickname Paco honors Saint Francis of Assisi, who's renowned for his love of animals. The nickname means compassionate one, so it suits you well. Hearing Bella's explanation, Paco's nickname made Dinah curious. What's a saint? My nickname is Dinah. Am I named after a saint like Paco? Dinah asked the question to anyone in the group who might answer, and Paco answered her first. Saints are good people who set good examples. You can only be one after you die. Is that correct? I don't know if that's correct. If it is, then I learned something about saints today, I guess. Benny knew how Dinah got her nickname and answered, Dinah, you're not named after a saint. Your full name is Theresa Nicole Tratton. So your initials are TNT. That is how she got her name. TNT is the same thing as dynamite. Dynamite explodes easily. Oh my god. That's so mean. Dinah pondered the answers for a few seconds, then proclaimed, I don't think DJ will ever become a saint. Not even gonna register that she's been called an explosive. Let's just change the subject. Bella laughed again. People can change, Dinah. Benny looked west to see the sun descending behind the mountains. In a few more minutes, it would be gone, leaving only its roots. Benny turned to Bella. We've got to go now. We're supposed to be home before sunset. Pup jumped on Bella's back. Pup hadn't repouched the goggles Paco had worn on Alta Vista. Take, sake. Pup wanted Paco to keep the goggles for memory's sake. Paco accepted the gift. He tried to say thank you, first in English, then in Spanish, but no words came out. His voice faltered. Instead, Paco gave Bella and Pup a goodbye hug. Again, Paco unlatched the back gate, pulled it open and entered the backyard. This time he was side by side with Guapo. The gate swung closed, the latch clicking tightly behind them. The sun had now completely fallen behind the mountains. Benny and Dinah were going to be getting home late. Aww. Got a picture for this chapter at least. That snowman's dead at this point, but that's okay, because we have a pretty sunset in the background too. Lovely. Chapter 4, The Wolf of Stratina? Is there something ominous about it for you? I'm gonna leave it there for today. Because we are 29% of the way through this book, so yes, this is only going to take me maybe 2 more streams to get through. And because I feel like if I do another one, then we're going to end up reading for a long time. That was quite a short chapter. I didn't expect that to be short as well. But I worry if the next one might be a big one, if we're setting up for kind of the next arcy bit. Because that seems like sort of a nice end to that sort of little section when we're properly introduced to Bella and Pup now and what they can do. And I'm guessing shenanigans will start beginning in the next chapter, so we'll wait until the next stream for that. My next stream will be tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to be trying out a new kind of stream, because I also want to publish and stuff. No, I'm not reading one more. I appreciate that you want one more, but you're going to have to wait till next week. Tomorrow will be a new kind of stream, because I want to publish this year, therefore I need to have a writing time. So what I'm going to try is a study stream, where it'll be 20 minutes of focus time, where there'll be some music. I won't really be talking. I'll keep an eye on chat, but probably won't be responding because I'll be focusing on my work. Anyone watching is welcome to try use that time to focus on their work. And then after the 20 minutes is up, we'll play 20 minutes of Capybara Spa and have a nice chat. Then we go back to 20 minutes of work. And we go back to 20 minutes of Capybara Spa, and we go until the stream ends. That is my idea, and hopefully that way I can make progress. I don't make music, no. I said there will be some music during the focus time. What I will be doing in the focus time will be working on, specifically, one second, I wrote this down behind me, Moon Girl 6 is what I will be working on specifically that day. Yeah, so we'll see how those go. Just because I wanted to be able to balance out getting my publishing work done and getting and still streaming, because streaming's fun and I still want to stream. So I thought if I could do both, that'd be great. And thank you. I was really shocked. I went to bed and I was on 149. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, I hope someone subs overnight so I can wake up to 150. And then I woke up to 151. I was like, what? Yes, the 300 plus views on Pokemon. I do have a... Did you do that? Did you go ahead with your threat of pumping up the views on that stream? I need to know. I know there's a lot of, like... unique views on it because I can see the stats. Yeah, I thought there's a few. There's a few of them that are. But that's okay. I'm still happy with it. The growth has been good. Let's fingers crossed it keeps going. Yeah. There'll be 3 streams next week. Focus and capybaras. You stopped at 100. Fair enough. So you're only a third of that then. Appreciate it. Next week, Monday Focus stream. Tuesday Sonic stream. Sunday, more Dogstar Night. One more thing? What else do you have to say? Yes. Yes, I did. You starred in one of my shorts. It was a great short. It's also a TikTok. Because it was funny. If you prefer I keep you out of shorts, you may say so now. And I won't do it in the future. But it was a funny little moment. Also... Okay, cool. I just wanted to check that you weren't like, oh no, I don't want to be seen by the internet. Also, Miss Erin Casey has seen that clip now. That is another reason why I wanted to do it. Ratting you out. No, she actually did watch the stream in the end, and there is a comment. She was very happy about me defending her stuff. Good. Good. I'm glad you're not upset. But yeah, it was just a funny bit. Therefore, short. Promote my shit. Like I said, if you go to my story stream, the comment in there is her. There is a comment. She wasn't mad at you. Like I said, she's quite nice. She'd see the joke. And she was happy that I defended her. It was good stuff. Good stuff. But you know what also is good stuff? Sleep. I am going to leave. It was nice having you around, Popstar. Thank you for coming. Thank you for anyone else who is lurking. Thank you for anyone else who watches the VOD. This has been... I thought you meant mad. She didn't at you. You would have known. But anyway, this has been Bridie Rose Smith, live from the Forbidden Library. I had fun. I hope you had fun. Thank you. Goodbye.